Are you in the market for a new e-bike? Then stay tuned for today's Girl Camper podcast because this episode is going to answer all your questions and more. And we're also going to tell you how you can win an e-bike for yourself. So stay tuned. So welcome everybody on today's podcast episode. We've got Cameron Hahn from Buzz Bikes, and he is going to tell us everything that we ever wanted to know about e-bikes. Welcome, Cameron.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me. Really excited for this.
Oh, we are too, because not only we're a huge fan of Buzz Bikes, but e-bikes in general are so popular now at the campground or just in general. I mean, I live right off the Mickelson Trail here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. And the amount of bike traffic that has increased a lot from e-bikes is just really incredible. And what I love about it is seeing people that I don't think I normally would have ever seen on a bike before, uh, you know, out there enjoying our wonderful bike trails. And I think that's just really cool.
Yes,
So
that is what it's all about. We're thrilled that the market's blowing up, but here, we're all about getting more people on bikes. It's number one priority. So, e-bikes are, making cycling more approachable for more people, and we're here for it.
that's great. That's great. Well, and you guys have such a nice option of different bikes, especially I love the foldable one. That's the one that I have. That's is it Centris? I always forget the model name.
Yep.
The Centris?
Interest.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's so convenient. I can fold it up. It fits in the back seat of my Jeep if I need it to. It's easy to transport, and that is really nice. And it's comfortable and it's fun. It's a fun bike. So
I'm glad you like it. It's my favorite model too. You can't beat the folding feature. It's just so easy.
you can't, especially for people that are camping, because it's all about having that space and, where do we put when especially our girl campers, because we're usually in smaller campers, where can we put things? So having that folding feature is really important. But we're kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves. Sorry, my fault. Let's talk about e-bikes. So can you tell us a little bit about Buzz's bikes focus into motorsports and how do campers really fall into that?
Yeah, sure. Um, a little bit of background. So when we launched Buzz, we were challenged to find a market and a relatively smaller market and own it. Um, Obviously, camping is the way to go. But that campers, they do everything. It's such a broad category. We needed to narrow down a little bit. And, through a series of trial and error, we eventually ended up in motorsports, which offers us not only a good opportunity to dial in on that loyal fan base, um, but a substantial population of campers are coming to these races. I wasn't a motorsports fan growing up. I had never been to a racetrack before. We went down this path, but from the first event, it was apparent all these racetracks around the country have campgrounds at them, or they're affiliated with the campground nearby. So yeah, you mentioned it right off the bat. E-bikes are becoming synonymous with RVers, and these racetracks are just packed with them. So that was a surprise to us. It's a big reason we're still in motorsports now. We definitely just being able to be in front of those campers. E-bikes are so experiential. And so the way we're partnering with a lot of these racetracks is by showing up when they have an event. And so we get to be in front of the fans and kind of show them what these e-bikes are about, give them an opportunity to test ride them, answer their questions right there. And a lot of them are taking the bikes home with them. We show them they can fold, and that'll fit in the RV or that'll fit in the back of the truck. I'll take two. I'm like, all right, I'm glad.
Nice. Well, and how convenient. Yeah, you ride your bike right on over to the racetrack, you watch your favorite NASCAR driver, and then you pedal on back home or throttle on back home, however you want. But
Yeah.
yeah, super, super convenient. I know, I'm going to an event this October, and while I'm staying at one campground, the event's at another one, and the other gals that are with me, yeah, we all just plan on bringing our e-bikes and whoop, just tootling on over. Makes it so convenient. We don't have to take our car, and It's just better for the environment actually too, because we're not burning gas and putting
Yeah,
out
you're
some
getting out,
emissions.
experiencing nature, moving around a little bit.
Yeah,
The it the benefits just go on and on.
it is. It's great. So Buzz, tell us about Buzz Bikes because you're not just kind of a, just a company in and of itself. You are actually part of a much larger company. And I think that's important because you don't want to buy a bike from someone that may not be there in a year. That someone that
Yeah.
just a little, not that there's anything wrong with startup companies, but when you're put or investing in something like an e-bike, you definitely want to know that that customer service is going to be there 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And so tell us about Buzz.
No, that you make a good point. Yeah, so Buzz is part of United Wheels, which is a family of brands here in the United States. We run the gambit. Our largest brand is Huffy. Everybody knows Huffy. Everybody had a Huffy growing up. Huffy's been headquartered in Dayton, Ohio for over 130 years. And beyond that, we have some specialty bike brands. People love when we mention Niner out of Fort Collins, Colorado. They're a mountain high end mountain biking brand.
Mm,
We have some bike dealer brands as well, like Batch. Vast is another really cool kind of up and coming brand that uses it's called ASM, all light super magnesium, to create a really light vibration dampening performance bike. So yeah, there's a lot of us here. That's actually a talking point I use at these events is, people ask about customer service and, what happens if we get sold or whatever. And I say, Huffy's been around for 130 years. They're not going anywhere. And we're confident Buzz is either. We're here to stay.
right. Yeah, I think that is so important. That your service centers are all over. They're not just a one and done or yeah, and that you're gonna be here. You're here for the long game, which is important, I think, when people are looking at e-bikes. So very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The other part of that too is, we have the cycling experience and the passion in this building. The one thing I'm most proud of with our company is how much cycling passion is within this building. Uh, you know,
Mhm.
we've got accountants, we've got engineers, we've got designers, product managers. It doesn't matter what their background is. The majority of the people, sought out this job because they're passionate about cycling. So you really see that in everything we do. That everything kind of trickles down, and you combine that with our 130 years of Huffy history, and all the knowledge that goes with that. Um, that all gets funneled into the e-products we're making today. We tell people, if I could sum it up in one sentence, our intent is to provide an e-bike solution that reduces those barriers to purchase, um, such as trying it out, price, complexity, things like that. So having all of those resources really sets us up to be able to do that
Well,
well.
that's so important that what you just said, having people at your company, that are bicyclists that use the product, I think that's huge. It boggles my mind when I talk to people in the RV industry and RV manufacturers and how many aren't RVers, have
Mhm.
never camped, and yet they're making them or they're designing them. And then, they kinda wonder, well, what features should we put in or which features should we take out which aren't being used? And it's like, you need to use it. You need to use it to see how is that experience? How can what's pleasurable about it? What isn't? What can be changed? So I love hearing that about Buzz Bikes and United Wheels in general, that it's a long history of biking and people there embrace that culture. That's important. Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So let's talk about e-bikes in general. If someone is in the market for an e-bike, what are things that they should know about and what are things that they should be looking for?
It's a good one. It really depends on what they're looking for. There's especially right now as the market's just emerging. E-bikes have been around the country for a while, but it's obviously exploded over these past 5 years or so. And there's endless options out there. You'd really want to assess what you're using the bike for. When we first launched, we identified a few um, sort of markets that would traditionally lean towards an e-bike. So those were like we called them your extender riders, and those may be cyclists who, for whatever reason, can't ride as far as fast as they once wanted to.
Mm.
They get it on an e-bike and they can do that now. We have your share the riders, and I always use my parents as an example. They're campers, and my dad used to run. He can't quite do that anymore, so he takes out his road bike. My mom wants to go with him, but she's not a road cyclist. She's not going to keep up with him on a cruiser frame, so an e-bike closes that gap.
Mm.
And then you have your alternative transportation, you people who are live in urban environments trying to replace their car. So it depends on what you're looking for, but I would encourage riders to research the brand for quality assurance. Um, there's a lot of I don't want to say non-name brand. I don't really know what the right word I'm looking for there is. There's a lot of Amazon brands that
Yeah.
you need to be careful about. So check out warranties, check out ratings and reviews. You can even look. A lot of e-bike companies are, including us, are posting our like third-party expert reviews. So Electrek is a big one that they'll review an e-bike and give you a really transparent and in-depth view of what the bike's about. Electric Bike Review is another one. So there's some things you can look for. Um, Everybody likes, a lot of range. So, you know, that seems to be battery range, and charge time is another hot topic that people are looking for. I'd say the average is probably around 40 miles. If you see something less than that, it's probably a smaller bike, like your Jackrabbits or your Jetsons. So be careful about that. Um, Otherwise, yeah, find something that suits your needs. They come in all shapes and sizes, fat tires, folding, skinny road bikes. There's new ones every day. They have cargo bikes now, so you can throw your kids on the back.
And
Find
trikes.
something.
I've
They
seen
have
trikes.
trikes.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a trike in our line that people love.
Mhm. So, Cameron, can you, also explain some of the features on an e-bike? Like, I know some of them have throttles, some of them don't, some of them they pedal assist. Can you explain, what those features are and how they work for people?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, we'll start with pedal assist. I'd say 99% of the e-bikes you look at will have pedal assist. So that is you're pedaling and the motor is providing extra output, depending on how hard you're pedaling. So, you can pedal slow. You really have to get on the bike to experience it. But imagine sitting on a bike and it's turned off and you're pedaling and it's a little difficult. You may be going a couple miles an hour. Once you kick on that pedal assist, you're still moving your legs at the same speed. um, the bike's going faster. You're getting more output for your pedal. So yeah, there's all sorts of different ranges. Most bikes have adjustable ranges. You can increase the pedal assist if you want to take it easier. You can lower it if you're trying to get a workout. Um,
I gotta
there's
say the first time I felt that, it was unexpected. So if you've never been on an e-bike and the first time you feel that pedal assist, it's a woo!
Yes, yes, we call it our whoa moment.
It's a whoa moment. But it is nice.
It is, and then once you get the hang of it, you can kind of use that to your advantage, and
Mhm.
you coast further. You can stop pedaling altogether if you're going 20 miles an hour, and then start coasting. So yeah, the pedal assist is kind of the main feature.
And then tell us
Um,
about throttles, because not all
Throttles,
e-bikes have throttles. Is that correct?
correct. Not all e-bikes have throttles. So there's three different classes of e-bikes, class one, two, and three. And it's still an emerging market. A lot of this information may change as the government starts to step in and start enforcing regulations and things like that. But generally, class one is going to be pedal assist only with a max speed up to 20 miles per hour. These are it's kind of your standard e-bike, good for everybody. You can ride it pretty much anywhere. You can ride a normal bike. There's no, you so like talking about bike paths and things like that. They're safe to ride there. Class two is when you introduce that throttle. So those will have pedal assist up to 20 miles an hour and a throttle up to 20 miles an hour. Um, so the throttle, you can stop pedaling altogether. The way our bikes work, you have to get at least like a 1.5 rotations in, pedaling before you can hold down that throttle. That way it doesn't take off on you. So you
Mm,
have to start moving and then you can use the throttle. It's just a safety feature. Not all of them are like that. So yeah, the throttle's another piece. And then when you get to class 3, those are when your bikes are going, more than 20 miles an hour. Usually the limit's 28. Some of those have a throttle, some don't. That's a place where, we're going to need to, the governing bodies that are making these decisions are going to have to work out what exactly a class 3 bike is. In some cases, it should be 28 miles an hour, and either that or a throttle. It can get confusing. We play in the class 1 and 2 range, so our max speed will always be 20 miles an hour. The majority of them come with the throttle, and again, those bikes are safe to ride pretty much anywhere you can ride a normal bike. I still recommend people check out their local regulations just to be sure, um,
very
but
good
for the most
point.
part.
Yeah, because I believe, like, I mentioned our Mickelson Trail, and I think technically, that's been a gray area if bikes with throttles, are actually allowed on it because it is a non-motorized trail. So, but yeah, and I'm not sure what they ever decided on that, but I think initially it was they were maybe not allowed, but it also might have come down to when the rangers are on there, they don't wanna see you using that throttle, you better be pedaling.
Better be
I
pedaling.
love that you mentioned too that the throttle can't be engaged on a buzz bike unless you've pedaled a little bit,
Mhm.
because I've heard horror stories of people who get an e-bike that doesn't have that safety feature in, and they're standing by it and they accidentally hit the throttle with their thumb or hand or whatever, and the bike just takes off on them, you
Oh,
know?
man. Yeah.
And yeah, that's a scary situation. So,
It is, yeah, they generally tend to be heavy units, ours are around 60 pounds, so that ugh. That could
yeah,
get scary.
yeah. So there's stuff in the news too once in a while about fires with the lithium batteries in e-bikes. Um, Talk about that and what Buzz is doing to make sure that that doesn't happen. And as opposed to like other companies, what should people be looking for when it comes to the batteries?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a shame. Some of these Amazon brands I mentioned are jumping on the opportunity in the exploding market to get sell through their products. Um, so it's something we've taken seriously since the beginning. We have a little bit of experience with battery powered ride-ons for under Huffy. So you think of your toy cars that they're riding around. Not quite an apples to apples comparison, but we do have some experience there. So since the beginning, we've tested our products to be compliant with the UL 2849 standard. So UL is Underwriters Laboratories. They're a independent. They're like a safety science company, um, and they've instituted their UL 2849 compliance standard, which the CPSC has backed and highly suggested that e-bikes comply with. It's just a set of safety regulations and testing that these e-bikes have to go through. It's the whole system. So it's the battery, the controller, the motor, the LCD screen, any part of the bike that's going to have electricity running through it is tested. So since the beginning, we've made sure we've been compliant to that standard. It is a big issue, and people are concerned about it. We've listened to our customers, so we're taking it a step further now, and we're testing to be not just compliant but certified to that standard.
Nice.
The lingo can get a little confusing, but essentially that just means we're using an OSHA certified lab for the testing now. There's also some extra, we have to make sure that our supply factories comply with certain standards as well. So it's the same test. It's just a little bit more robust. Um, so that is something else that you can look for. These e-bike companies should be, specifying that they're whatever it is, if their products are compliant to the standard, or they'll have a badge of the lab it was tested at. That's definitely something to look for. If you don't see anything about UL 2849 compliance, probably best to stay away from that one.
Makes sense. But I think I also need to mention that the battery fires are pretty rare, though, aren't they?
They are, yeah, and most of the time you find that a combination of a lower quality battery and misuse of the battery
Mm,
is the fault in that. So, another thing we're doing is making sure we're educating our customers on um, proper battery care. The lithium ion's much more forgiving than these old lead acid batteries, but you still want to make sure you're not leaving it plugged in more than it needs to be. Um, you're keeping it in a safe spot, away from your like safe in your garage somewhere. We do recommend fireproof boxes just to be safe.
Hmm.
But yeah, they are rare. Yeah, the majority of the time it's negligence or you know a poor quality battery. Actually, the majority of the ones I've seen are from people tinkering with the batteries themselves to try to get more life out of them.
Uh, yeah, don't do that.
Nope, nope.
Don't
Leave
mess
the
with the
battery in its
battery.
case.
Is storing the battery you mentioned I know you mentioned in a fireproof box, does temperature of how a battery is stored, hot, cold, does that impact the battery life or, its performance at all on when you go to put it in back in the bike?
It can, yeah. I don't want to claim to be an electrical engineer or anything here. I do know that yeah, you want to avoid overly hot temperatures and extremely cold temperatures. I'd say probably you'd want to bring your battery inside during the winter. You want to avoid freezing temperatures. I don't know how hot is too hot, um, but I would assume around like what we live in, 70-ish degrees is a safe
Ideal.
space for it to be. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So warranties, obviously a huge part too people should think about when they're looking at buying, an e-bike. What are things that they should look for in a warranty?
So I think, you're going to have different lengths of warranty depending on the component. So I'll use Buzz as an example. We have a 10-year warranty on our frames. If a company's got less than 10 years, you may want to ask yourself why. A lot of times companies will go up to a lifetime warranty on the frames too. So that should be your biggest length of time. As far as the electrical components are concerned, we have a 2-year warranty on ours. We find that the majority of the time there's a warranty claim for something like that. It was, um, an issue coming out of the factory, which happens on occasion.
Mm,
It's certainly, nothing overwhelming. Um, and then you're going to find probably bicycle components like your tires, your tubes, your brake pads. The warranty there is going to be closer to 6 months to a year. Ours is 6 months, and that's just normal wear and tear. After 6 months, we can't cover that sort of thing.
right.
The
God
vast
knows where you
majority of
took
our
your
warranty
bike.
claims, yeah, right. Um, I was going to say the vast majority of our warranty claims are related to those normal cycling components.
Okay.
Somebody
And
pops the tube.
does the battery fall into the electrical section?
It does.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So 2 years on that. Again, I don't want to claim to be an expert on the subject, but the experts in the building tell me there's no reason an e-bike battery can't last 10 years without, or as long as you're taking care of it properly. A lot of times what we see is if you're not riding frequently and you let your battery sit uncharged for, a year, maybe a year and 6 months, there's a little chip inside of them that regulates the charge, regulates all the voltage in there.
Oh,
And it needs a little bit of juice to function.
okay.
So if you let it drain down past that threshold, you're not going to be able to recharge your battery.
Oh,
Um, that's like the biggest thing. Again, your battery is going to have to sit for quite some time for that to happen. Um, but
but good information, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
especially like
something
somewhere
good to
where
know.
I live, I mean, it snowed yesterday. So our season for riding bikes can be a little short.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that's good to know to keep that just a little bit of a charge on it at all times if not. So nice. Gotcha. So, does Buzz have anything coming up new? Any new products? Anything exciting you wanna
Oh,
share that
so many. I can't decide which bike I'm most excited for this year. I think I have to give it to our Buzz drone coming out um, in just a couple of months. So this is a really unique looking bike. It's got a moto style frame, so it kind of looks like a motorcycle.
Oh,
Um, it doesn't have the big tanks on it or anything. It's still got the I don't know, it's traditional cycling frame, but it looks like a motorcycle. It's really eye catching. It's this bright orange color. really unique from what we've done before. It's not a normal bike seat. It's like a motorcycle seat too. So really comfortable. And there's just something about it. It feels faster. It still only goes 20 miles an hour. But just the look of it and the way you're sitting on the frame, it is a blast to ride. I cannot wait till we launch that thing. We're gonna have
Fun.
so much fun with it.
That
We
sounds
but
fun.
yeah, we've got so many coming out. We just launched our Serrana 2. I don't know if you checked that out. It's really comfortable, sort of cruiser style bike.
No, I remember the Serrano from, that you had before,
Yeah, so
and
this is
then I
V2.
noticed it's gone, so yeah, cool, I'll have to check that one out. Nice. Well, and I keep waiting for the little scooter to come out too.
We're working. We had scooters for a while. We're working on some really cool. Actually, our product team has some really cool innovations that we're going to be bringing to scooters. I don't want to give away too much there. Maybe next year I can tell you guys about that.
Awesome.
But
Well, if you need any testers too, I'm here for you.
hey, we will take you up on that. It's our relationship with our partners that drives a lot of the innovation. Um, we've got. I'll give you a perfect example. We work with her a blogger out of Cincinnati. Her name's Adventure Mom Blog.
Okay.
And, she's been with us since 2019,
Oh,
and I mean, the insights that her and everybody else have provided us are just so valuable. She came to us one time and said, "The bike's really comfortable. My dad and I love it. It would be nice if I could lower the bike seat without getting off of the bike. So when I roll
wow.
up to a stop sign, I can stand flat footed. I don't have to do the whole leaning thing or jump off. I can just stand there. And then when I'm ready to go again, I can raise the seat back up." Like, okay, that's interesting. We
Yeah.
we took it to our product managers and they said, that technology actually exists already. It's common. It's called a dropper seat post, and it's common on mountain bikes. They use it to get more or less torque from their pedaling, depending on their terrain. So if they're going uphill, they'll lower it so they can pedal harder. If they're going down, they'll want to sit a little higher. And so we put that on our new bikes, the Serrana 2 I mentioned, and all of our newer models will have that built in. So now you can press a lever under your seat, and as you're rolling up to a stop sign, you can drop down, comfortably plant both of your feet. Don't have to worry about balancing the bike. And then when you're ready to go again, you just lift it back up.
Wow,
So
that's
we all
really cool.
isn't that cool? It's the combination of our relationship with our partners and having the vast experience between brands here that it's the little touches that I love about our brand. It makes me very proud to see all that stuff come to life.
That's neat. That's neat. Well, I know we love partnering with you guys, a lot because you're just a neat company, and you're always willing to step up whenever we ask you for a donation for a charity auction or anything. You guys are one of the first ones to always say, "You bet, what color, where do we send it?" And we just so appreciate that for you guys.
Oh, we love this relationship too. It's been awesome. We've been following you guys on social. I checked out Janine's podcast, so I have to mention I just saw the last episode, the intergenerational camping.
Yeah.
Because so I mentioned my parents were campers growing up. They haven't been inviting me out on their trips lately. They just went to the Gulf Shores and I didn't get to come. So I think that, my wife and I have been together for a few years now. I think it's going to take a grandchild for us to get invited again. And so I was watching that episode and I was taking notes I was like, yeah, this mom, you should check this out. You're going to need space for all of us and we're all going to do this together again. I had to mention that was a fun episode.
That's hilarious. I'll make sure Janine hears that one that, yeah, you gotta get a you gotta rent a baby. That's cute. So cute. So, Cameron, where can people find Buzz Bikes and get more information?
So we are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Buzz Bicycles. You can head to our website, buzzbicycles.com, sign up for our newsletter. Not only will you be the first to know about our new sales and promotions and all that fun stuff, but we really are trying to make an effort to educate our customers about, responsible e-bike ownership, safe e-bike ownership, and all of the fun things that they can do. So, you'll get direct access to our blog and all that fun stuff.
Excellent. And I gotta say, you guys I know on our website, on the Girl Camper website, on our Seals and Deals page, we have, a link to you guys with, a nice discount. But if you sign up for your newsletter, you guys often do a really good, discounts on there I've seen that are above and beyond what we would normally offer. So, I would encourage people, yeah, definitely sign up for Buzz's newsletter if you're interested in an e-bike from them. So, well, Cameron, it has been so great having you on the show today. This was really informative and, just love it. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. I'm happy to be here. It's really good seeing you.
You too. Well, that's our show for today. Be sure to go to the Girl Camper Instagram page and enter for your chance to win a Buzz bike. If you like today's show, be sure to like it and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And check out all of our events on our Girl Camper website that our guides have planned, and be sure to join us in the fun. Until next week, I'm Lisa McDermott, and I'll see you around the campfire.